Today in Make Insurrection Great Again news, MAGA nutjob Lauren Boebert saw Donald Trump's pardoning of 1,500 January 6th insurrectionist rioters and said, "Hold my beer." Because this lunatic just held a press conference outside of the DC Central Detention Facility where many of the rioters are being held and went on an insane tirade you have to see to believe that ends with her making an outrageous offer to the prisoners to essentially have a redo of their peaceful protests inside the Capitol. I kid you not, folks. She might as well have offered individual hand jobs to all of the criminals we're now releasing back onto the streets, because apparently in this new hellscape we call home, crime is totally legal as long as you're white and Republican, no matter how violent you are.
That it's never acceptable to assault a police officer.
Sure.
Right? So then if I can, among those you pardoned DJ Rodriguez, he drove a stun gun into the neck of a DC police officer who was abducted by the mob that day. He later confessed on video to the FBI and pleaded guilty for his crimes. Why does he deserve a pardon?
Just wait till you hear the offer she makes these people. But of course, it wouldn't be a peaceful insurrectionist pep rally without a mountain of misinformation, whataboutism, attacking Democrats, and blaming the Capitol police officers for everything that happened that day.
According to the United States Marshal, he's dealing with them one by one and getting all the paperwork. So, I would love for President Trump, for Attorney General Pam Bondi, to step in and help us out here with the U.S. Marshals and make sure that doesn't become a paperwork issue. These men have already paid too much time, more time than they ever should have. They should have never been locked up. I was on a news interview and someone was asking one of our January 6th hostages that's on federal probation until President Trump signed the pardon. And she asked him if he regretted January 6th. And I stepped in and said, you know what I regret? I regret what the media did to lie about the events of that day. I regret that the American people weren't allowed to know how many federal agents were present in the crowd. I regret that the tens of thousands of hours of footage that was recorded at the Capitol was not released immediately to the American public. I regret the livelihoods that were lost, the time that has been spent locked up unjustly, the amount of time in court and on probation and defending oneself against something that they shouldn't have been had to defend. I also regret that the American people weren't allowed to see the police officers that were opening gates, opening doors, escorting people into the Capitol. Right. This day was not what the left said, but November 5th showed that the American people believe us, they believe you, they believe that this is unjust because they knew that President Trump was going to pardon them. And that's exactly what he did. That's the mandate that he received overwhelmingly from America. And that is why President Trump is back. And if there's another regret, I'm sure it's only on the Democrats who are regretting that they didn't just shut up. Because now they're finding out. They messed around, if you will, for 4 years. And now they're finding out.
Frankly, the only one I can think of that needs to shut up is this bimbo here. So I'll shut her up for you, and we'll skip to the part where she makes this insane offer for an insurrectionist redo at the Capitol, courtesy of her own male attention-loving self.
To return, and if they're not, I'm coming back. I want to see them for their release. And I'll be the first member of Congress to offer them a guided tour in the Capitol.
I genuinely don't know what's more insane here. The fact that 1,500 prisoners were released, the fact that she's offering them guided tours of the Capitol on the night of their release, or the fact that people are cheering this as a win for democracy, for the rule of law. This is the sad state that we live in. The guy that whined for the last decade about mental institutions being emptied in other countries and them sending us their criminals and releasing violent immigrants and murderers and sending us not their best people is now flooding our streets with people who defied our democracy, our republic, and pardoning those same criminals. And then this bonehead comes along and says, hey, you know what? Why don't you come along with me? I'll give you the tour of the Capitol you never got. Shame and irony are not words that these MAGA Republicans know. And I don't know about you, but I don't even know what fucking country this is anymore. Because right now, this place feels like one of those holes that Donald Trump talked about.